Hey everyone, Andrew Reiner here with the official review and I guess spoiler cast for Sonic the Hedgehog. This just came out in theaters. Brian, Shea, and I both saw it.
We did.
I'm just going to say right out of the gates, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. I had a decent amount of time. What do you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, it's obviously a children's movie, but it's overall a very fun thing. I think that we had a lot of jokes that didn't quite land. We also have Alex Stadnik in the booth.
Yeah,
I was
that's
going
the
to say,
Alex Stadnik.
hello.
He saw it as well.
I did see this. I am a part of this. Yeah, I think 7 out of 10 makes sense. I think there's a lot of times I was trying to fight my cynicism, especially when he started flossing, but like it's a good kids movie. Like yeah, that's all it was. It did have some funny moments.
Yeah, I think that the model change for Sonic was absolutely necessary. If they didn't change that and like that was what we were stuck with, like looking at the entire movie, it would totally have ruined the entire fantasy of this is a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which was already somewhat loose anyway, since he's just hanging out in Montana most of the movie.
And that change was for us, you know, that are nostalgic about Sonic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that weird version of him might have worked with the kids today, but you could have put any character in this movie, by the way. They don't really adhere to Sonic's lore at all. You see Green Hill Zone at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I was so excited for that. It looked so good.
But even there, he's like the son of an owl.
It's an owl.
Yeah.
It's a Legend of Zelda crossover.
I was going to say, it reminded me of Ori and the Blind Forest a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rings matter. I like what they did with the rings as being portals to different worlds. So he's always carrying a bag of rings. I thought that was a nice little touch. But you could have put any character in there. This could have been a Garfield sequel.
Very fast Garfield.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. I mean, seriously, you could have put any kind of creature in this movie because it is, at its heart, 90% of this movie is a buddy cop film.
I do remember
literally a cop.
It was a cop.
He is the friend of a cop.
Yeah, which
that's all it is.
I do remember the part in Garfield where he ran really fast around the baseball field and caused a massive power outage.
It's my favorite
it would have
part.
been a slow version of it. He might have been napping on second base.
Yeah.
Stadnik, what do you give this as a score? You said 7?
I like the 7 as well.
Okay.
I think, I think Jim Carrey was the highlight for me.
Yes,
I
for
thought
sure.
his Robotnik was the best part, and it kind of harkened back to that 90s, like, super animated, crazy Jim Carrey that I think we all know and love.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't look like he aged much, by the way.
No,
he
it's
could still
crazy.
move those hips and be crazy.
Yeah, which is great for him. I love it. Especially there's a scene where he's dancing. I don't remember what song it is, but he's like dancing in his lair, and that genuinely got me to laugh a couple of times. So he was definitely the highlight. And I think Ben Schwartz as Sonic definitely worked.
Yeah.
I grew up with like the 90s cartoon, so I didn't feel like it was that far off of it. So I liked it. I think it's easy to poke holes in it, but it's also a kid's movie. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, 100% is a kid's movie. And I agree with you about Ben Schwartz as Sonic. I grew up with like the 90s cartoons, Sonic Adventure when he was first voice acted. Mm-hmm. And he sounded in line with all of the voice actors that have played him to this point, whether you're talking like Jaleel White or Ryan Drummond. He kind of fits right in with that same sound.
Yeah.
Did a great job. And I think that the character of Sonic, annoying at times, but I think
he's a huge butthead through the whole
by
movie.
design.
And I loved it when he got knocked out a couple times because it was like a breather for you and the audience. Like, Sonic might be dead, but you know what? I feel good about it right now.
Let's just enjoy this
Because he was
moment.
really kind of bouncing off the walls there for a while.
I haven't heard someone call someone a butthead since like middle school, so thank you for bringing that into my life
Bringing
again.
back the 90s.
I like that the story in this was somehow more realistic than the story of Sonic 06, where he kissed a female human.
Mm-hmm. He gets in a bar fight in this one.
He does.
And that was on his
Wild.
bucket list.
Yeah,
So
it was. I'm very happy that he got to
Congrats,
experience
Sonic.
a lot of those bucket list items in that same scene.
James Marsden, really good as well. Mm-hmm. He acted his heart out. Like, he bought in on all this, rolled with a lot of bad jokes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, made it work. Like, again, you could put any character in this movie. It didn't have to be Sonic, but for me as a gamer, having that character there, it was cool seeing how he got his shoes.
Yeah.
Not what I expected, but I like that.
Yeah,
I like
was a nice
that moment.
little touch. Yeah.
And the 2 post-credit sequences where they're exciting. Like you I mean, we're spoiling this, so go ahead.
Jim
Brian.
Carrey goes full Robotnik,
Yep.
like stuck on the mushroom planet, and he had the perfect Robotnik laugh. Like he let out the perfect Robotnik
Hold
laugh,
on.
and it was so exciting.
Mushroom Planet.
We were talking about this earlier. Was that a shot at Mario? Were they taking shots, or is there like a mushroom place?
There is
in
a
Sonic?
mushroom zone.
Damn
I think
it, okay.
Mushroom Hill Zone
Yeah.
is the first zone of Sonic and Knuckles, I believe it's called.
I wanted it to be them because they kept hearkening to how terrible mushrooms
Yeah.
were and how awful it was. I was like, I want it to
may
be
be.
taking shots at Mario. That's what I want.
It may be that as well,
I
but
want a blood feud like in the 90s between Sega and Nintendo.
And then the more exciting one, the second sequence
yeah.
is...
So Tails emerges from a portal, and he looked amazing. His character model, they got him right the first time. Although I'd like
We
to see
don't
if there
know.
were
I
any
was
failed
gonna
iterations.
say, my buddy who I saw it with looked at me. He's like, I want to know what it looked like before
Yeah.
they changed him because
If you
know
worked-
it looked like that.
Yeah, if you worked on that movie, please leak that art.
Yeah. Do you know
Or the CG model.
That and Baby Sonic before the redesign.
Yeah, we want
Yeah.
to see how awful those look.
Do you know the? Do you guys know the meme of like the distressed, like strung out fox? That's what I picture Tails looking like
yeah.
before the
Yeah.
before the changeover. But anyways, I was happy to see him.
I liked that there were some like just Easter eggs scattered throughout it that like the normal person wouldn't catch on. It's almost like how Toy Story has some jokes for the
Sure.
parents that the
Yeah.
kids won't catch on. This had a lot of like nods to Sonic like fandom that the non-Sonic fan would not catch on to.
Yeah.
Like the Sonic drawing that Crazy Carl had, the little like Green Hill Zone theme at the end,
I
the piano
love that.
arrangement,
Oh,
that
it
was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His bed at the end was was like a Sonic race car. I liked that a little bit.
I didn't even catch on to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a decent time, and I took my daughter, who's 7 years old, and she had the time of her life. She was laughing at every fart joke, and she gave it 100 points.
Wow.
So,
oh,
yeah.
man.
Full 100.
And she's like, I can't wait to tell kids
Should have
at
had
school
her
about it.
on this video.
Seriously,
Yeah,
she
that
was
would've been
all
fun,
in.
100 points.
I mean, the bean burrito fart. She
Oh,
was laughing
chili
at-
dog.
Or chili dog. She was
Come
laughing
on.
out loud. Like she was dying from that.
That was
And-
the one where I'm like, oh, great, Sonic's farting now.
And not to say these are better sequences than Quicksilver from the Avengers or the X-Men movies, but the slow motion sequences in this where Sonic's moving ultra speed are very cool. And I thought they
Yes.
did a nice job of framing them. The choreography of everything being stopped was done very well.
I liked how when it unpaused time in the bar and just everything went off at the same time,
Oh, it was
everybody
awesome.
fell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
It was fun. So we all liked it.
Yeah, I would see a sequel if
It's
they put
a-
one out. I mean,
My question for the sequel, I know we're running short on time, but my question, so like in the beginning when that like tribe was hunting Sonic and Longtown, were those was that Knuckles race?
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I asked somebody who is familiar with the Sonic franchise, and they said, we don't know.
Interesting.
But it looked like masked echidna, which is
Yeah.
Knuckles' species.
yeah,
could be.
Because my bet for the sequel is Tails comes back. It's like, we need you back to find your mom. They run into Knuckles, they're fighting, and then Robotnik comes back. And then they all have to band together to stop Robotnik. That's
love it.
That's my.
It's like the
theory.
Avengers
Yeah.
of the
Get a Knuckles solo movie.
or the Sonic cinematic universe.
yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of this movie. That's the thing I think people are kind of like on edge about. It's like, I love Sonic. I haven't liked his games lately. Movies.
Come on, Mania was great.
Video game movies are usually pretty bad.
Yeah.
Should I go see it? I think you should.
I
Just-
would say that I put this slightly below Detective Pikachu in terms
Yeah,
of how much I
I
like
agree.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
I walked out of it like, if I had nostalgia for Sonic like I do Pokemon, I think I would have liked it more. And that's kind of why I like Detective Pikachu, but I think that hit harder for me. So,
All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
Video game movies aren't so bad anymore.
It's weird.
They're just kind of
fingers
okay.
crossed. Yeah.
That's an improvement.
We got to grow.
Yeah. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.